Good morning, welcome back to another video with a guy and his projects. Today we are working on the 2006 Jeep Commander 5.7 liter Hemi with the all-wheel four-wheel drive, all-time four-wheel drive, four-low, whatever, who cares. And we are doing the rear brakes today. So we just bought this, as you know from the intro, not that long ago. Had a lot of problems, we're working through them. One of them is that the back brakes are shredded. The front brakes are also not that great. We'll be doing those in a different video here soon, but the back brakes have to happen now because the rotors are grooved to crap as well as the pads. So it tells me we may have a problem with the slide pins, or they lived on a dirt road. I drive on a dirt road and it's just seen a lot of gravel that got stuck in there over time. I don't know. We're going to figure it out. We're going to replace those pads. So this is a DIY how I replace my brake pads. Don't take it for gospel. This is what I do for my stuff. Follow along at your own risk. As far as parts, we are using some drilled and slotted rotors that are E-coated for corrosion resistance. I'm not typically a big drilled and slotted rotors guy, but I put them on my wife's Expedition a long time ago. I got a video on that. And they've done just fine. Better or worse than the solids, I don't know, but they've done fine. And we're going to try them out on the Commander. So we got our new rotor, we have our new pads, we have our new slide hardware. This is actually a really simple one. I already did the passenger side. That is installed. I haven't driven it, but it's installed. So I will link this stuff down below. When I link stuff down below on Amazon, you click the link and buy anything before clicking on somebody else's link. I make a small commission as long as you do it within so many hours. So click on the links is what I'm saying, and then buy stuff. You get stuff, I make money, life is good. So anyway, installing these. It's a pretty simple job on these. Really all we need is some brake clean, some brake grease, a 13mm ratchet, C-clamp of some sort to decompress the piston on the caliper, maybe a screwdriver, a pick for the O-ring if yours still has an O-ring retainer, a little brush so you can clean things up before it goes back together, and something to take the tires off with. Really simple. I also have a little evacuator for the brake fluid. So when it comes to your brake fluid reservoir, you want room in your reservoir, because when you compress that piston, that brake fluid's going to come back up. You want to have room in it or you will overflow. So before you start the job, take the cap off. I just have it sitting there for any dust that might happen to go in there. But I evac'd quite a bit of the reservoir to make room, and then we're going to probably flush the system when we're done on a different video. But that's something you want to do, is make sure you got room and open the cap so that it can go back. With no further ado, let's get this thing up in the air and we'll get started. Yes, you can use a floor jack and just do one tire at a time. I got a lift. I spent a lot of money on it, and I'm using the lift as always. So that's what I'm doing. Let's go. Step one, remove the tire once it's safe to do so. Whatever safe to do so means to you. Take the tire off. Alright, so these brakes are really simple. So one, you can probably see that. That is horribly, horribly grooved up. I'm guessing the pads are going to look similar. So to take these brake pads off, to get the rotor off, this is one of those cars you do not have to take the bracket off. Super handy. In fact, we only got two bolts. We got a 13mm here and a 13mm here. We're going to pull those out. The whole caliper comes off, and then all we got to do is replace this, replace that, pull the pads, swap the rotor. For the rotor, there is this little O-ring right here. That holds the rotor on, just like the screws do in a lot of other cars. This one has an O-ring. It's a rubber O-ring. Just peel it out. Probably doesn't need to go back in, but I put the other side back in anyway, just for what it's worth, and that's what I know there. So my first step to do is, because I forgot that O-ring on the other side, and I fought getting the rotor off for a minute. We're just going to go ahead and peel this out right now. Okay, that is out. Next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and get these two 13mm bolts. Alright, I like to start with whichever one's comfortable. We're just going to bust them both loose just to make sure they both come loose before we go pulling them out. That one was barely in there. These are just tiny little bolts. That one's barely in there as well, so easy peasy. I'm just gonna go ahead and spin these out. There's the bottom one, and there's the upper one. Comes out just like so. Probably clean those off before we're done here. All right, now to get the rotor off, we're just gonna go in here, or the caliper, and just peel it. This little brake clip here, you wanna depress. Hopefully you guys can see that. I think you can see it. I can't see what you guys see, so I'm just hoping here. Okay. Oh, yeah, these guys are a little stuck in here. Okay, once that's more or less out, you can peel it just like so. I'm gonna put it right up here on top of the rotor. All right, we're gonna get this one off first. We're gonna leave this inner pad on for now. This one, it's got this little it's got this little bracket. Easiest way I found is just with a pry bar, stick it in there and pop it up. I said easiest, I didn't say it was easy. Sometimes you might come over here, and if you're replacing them and don't care, you can just get and bend that bracket so it's not retaining anymore. There you go, and then you can pull that out just easy peasy. Don't do that if you're reusing brake pads for whatever reason you're tearing this apart. Because that's going to ruin your ability. Look how scratched that is. Holy smokes. Yeah, there's been some gravel getting in there or something. Alright, now I'm going to take a C-clamp. You can do this however you want. This is how I do it. I'm going to the bolt on the brake line. And then we're just going to kind of squeeze her back together. Before I do that, sometimes I'll take some lubricant. Just to kind of help revive the inside of the piston. Not necessary, just something I like to do. Now we're just going to compress this. This is where having the brake reservoir cap open is going to be a big help. Probably don't have to go all the way in, but I'm going all the way in. We're done with that. Now to get this one out, put your palms on the bracket, put your fingers behind it, and just pull it like so, and that is out. Yeah, this one's got chunks missing. Now, there's been some big gravel chewing this thing up in here. Alright, at this point, I like to dump the piston out, whatever dirt. And then you can grab a toothbrush, clean this if you want. These actually look pretty dang clean, so I'm probably not. I'm going to spray some brake clean down these piston holes, or these slide pin holes. Make sure, do this little action, make sure that they are still lubed. If not, you may have to replace some boots or the pin or drill out the bracket or the hole for the pin. We don't have none of that. It's pretty good shape. Remember, I grab my brake clean. Try and get all the dirt up. Right through the pinholes, get the old grease out. Do as much cleaning as you would like to at this point here, because this is a good opportunity to get it clean. Okay, at this point, I want to let this dry out. I'm just going to let it hang. Don't really care if that's what you do or not. And now the fun part, we get to break this rotor loose. So breaking the rotor loose, get this O-ring off, spray some penetrant in here to get it so it can work through. That's really all I can do. And then you can either use a hammer, like a sledgehammer, and start banging on this to try and break the rust free and whatever all, or an air hammer. I like to use an air hammer. It goes pretty fast. Plug your ears. I know it seems counterproductive, but I'm actually going to hammer this in all the way around on the braking surface as well as the hub surface, just to vibrate rust and dirt free, and then we'll go from the back side over here and start hammering in from there. So, but for now, grab some hearing protection too. There we go. So if you guys remember Chase, he brought over a big air hammer once and showed my little guy up. So I bought a bigger one, and we just used it, and it came in clutch. I'm gonna pop that off. Alright, so now we're gonna just take a peek. We have a lot of life left on the e-brake, so those are gonna be just fine. And this is what makes it stick. It rusts together, so that's why we clean this up before I put the new one back together. That and some, yeah. So we're gonna just take, because I like brake clean, I just bought this stuff. I bought it in a 12-pack on Amazon. It's alright, evaporates quick, but we're just gonna kind of get rid of all the dust in here pretty much. And clean it. See how brown that is dripping? It's all dust and rust stuff. You can see how much crud is on that guy right here. That's kind of your sensor, so you want that clean. Now once you kind of get inside there clean, I'm just going to grab my wire wheel and a drill and clean up all this rust stuff. Once I've drilled all that, mostly clean, got the big stuff, again, just wash away the dust. Some people will put anti-seize in here. I have done that in the past. I've not done it in the past. Today I'm not going to do it because the new rotors have that zinc or that E-coating. So theoretically, it should be fine. I am, however, going to put this up here backwards. You could also just hold it however you want to do, but for picture purposes, putting that on backwards, I want to just spray it. Just the surface area where the pads are going to meet. Some rotor manufacturers or brands, models don't want you to do that, so always look it up. Like the Duralast Gold I like to buy at AutoZone with the advanced rust prevention coating. They don't want you to do any of that kind of stuff because they want the pads to wear it off so that everywhere where there is no pad stays protected. But the instructions on this did not say nothing, so we got all that clean. Now we're going to put our little O-ring back on here. Okay, and if I had known these had O-rings on them, I probably would have bought an O-ring. But I didn't know, so I didn't buy. So we're reusing. Probably don't need to reuse either. Alright, so now the bracketry right here, we're just going to pop that off. Just like so. Just like so. If it's really corroded and stuff, which these ones actually are not, you want to use a toothbrush and some stuff. Mine are okay. So I'm just going to keep using brake clean. Alright, these are going to hang off a little bit. There's these little tabs. You want to make sure the tabs line up with the end of this bracket here. So I find it easiest to start on the outside and reach in and pop it up like that. Same with this one. Down. Oh, that one didn't really latch, but if I look at it, it is seated. So, well, not this side. There it goes. There it goes. Now it's seated. Alright, we're going to go back to our rotor. Pay attention to your bleed screw. Just for a minute here. I'm going to put this like that. If you buy the pads and rotors I linked down below, mine came with some grease. However, I also have a big blob of it in a bowl or in a jug container. So I'm going to grease the mating surfaces where the back of the pad meets metal. I hear a very squeaky truck outside, and I don't know anything about it, so hopefully they're not here for me. So this one, these little tingies go into the piston. I usually wait to grease that. My bad. Now I gotta be careful. And this one's a pain in the butt to do, but it is doable. You just gotta get the knack for it. Look at that, I didn't even get it greasy. Haha! Okay, so this blingle blangle is the retainer for the outside. This is your squealer to let you know when your brake pads are getting worn. We want this on the top side, which will match the side of the bleeder, so it's going to go in like this. It seems self-explanatory, except I've seen people do weird things. So these little brackets slide in here with these guys, and you're just going to kind of slide it down. Until she rests in place, and there she goes. Alright, providing you can still see, I'll swing you over here. Hope you can see. It's hard to see what you guys see because I can't see what you guys see because you guys are up there and I'm down here, so different perspective. Alright, this pad has this little ledge that make sure that ends up in the bracket. I would recommend sticking the bottom side in first where it needs to go. So it's going to be something like, so this pin you might have to pull out so it can go around. There we go, that'll make it easier. And then same thing up top, you're going to have to pull this pin out. When you slide it in, I'm going to have to put this retainer in. And voila. Okay. Now she's in place. So I do not know the proper procedure for these. If it's dry, greased, anti-seized. I know these threads go in, but this is also your slide pin. So I am going to put grease on the shoulder of this bolt, but not the threads. I do not know if that's proper. Hit me up in the comments with what you believe to be proper. And if you know for a fact what is proper, put that in the comments too. Because undoubtedly, 3 years from now, somebody will watch this video and ask that question and nobody will have an answer. So, again, just going to coat the shoulder where it slides, presumably. My idea, not necessarily how you're supposed to do it. Keep that in mind. Now we are going to tighten these up to manufacturer specs. But before you torque them, you're going to want to get them both snugged. So once it bottoms out, you can stop. And we're going to do this side again. And then you're going to torque it to manufacturer specs, which I will try to put on the bottom of your screen. These are tiny bolts. Do not wail on them. Again, some people like to put anti-seize here, and I have done that in the past. Make sure you put your O-ring back if you want it. I'm not going to do that because of this E-coating. Maybe it's not a problem. Maybe it is. Don't know. Either way, I'm not going to put anything there, so tie her up. And in place. Hiya. One, two, three, four, five. Alright, once you get all your tires situated, come over here, open your hood. And so there's a couple things you're going to do. One, you want your cap on here. And then you're going to turn your Jeep on. Well, I guess you don't even have to do that. But you're going to press your brake pedal down to the floor several times. And get rid of all that gap between the rotor and the pads. And then you're going to come over here. You're going to top off your fluid. Put your cap on. And you're going to take her for a drive. And you're going to bed in the brakes. Now, there's a lot of different ways to bed them in, and if your brake rotors and pads came with a set of instructions, you want to follow those, mainly because they're not always the same. Typically, if there is no instructions, my preference is I go up to 30 miles an hour and I soft brake down to practically 0, and then up to 30, soft brake down, and I do that good 10 times or so to the best of my ability with traffic and stuff. It's hard, but that's what I try to do. These ones that I'm linking down below that I purchased have a whole entire different braking procedure, bedding procedure. So read the instructions, follow those. Once you're done with that, check your fluid again, make sure you're topped off and good, and you guys are happy rolling. Guys, remember, I am not a official certified mechanic by any means. This is just what I do and how I fix my cars. Follow me at your own risk. Remember, parts linked down below, tools linked down below, all that's linked down below. I make money when you click on stuff and buy stuff. Don't even have to buy what I link, just click a link and buy something within a certain time frame, and I make money. So I appreciate it, guys. That helps me keep these projects going. It helps motivate me to filming these projects for you. So this Commander is still new to me, so there is a lot of videos coming. I think we're 2 videos deep now to the intro. I don't know if the oil change is going to post before this one or not. We'll be doing the front brakes here soon. There is an oil change, and there's about to be a crap ton more. So stay tuned, guys. Leave a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know how you're doing today. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Adios.